On Global TV News Express, President Tinubu unveils employment program. In business, EU partners Nigeria on solid minerals development. On the foreign scene, French row with Algeria escalates further with tit-for-tat expulsions. And in sports, Warriors Magic Seal NBA playoff sports. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. President Bola Tinubu has officially launched the Labour Employment and Empowerment Program, LEAP, a new national initiative aimed at creating at least 2.5 million sustainable jobs within 2 years and transforming the Ministry of Labour and Employment into a job-creating powerhouse. Tinubu, at the program's launch in Abuja, declared LEAP as the administration's most comprehensive response yet to the mounting challenges of youth unemployment and the disruptive forces reshaping the global labor market. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, he says, in the face of the digital revolution that is rendering traditional jobs obsolete, the future depends on how well they equip the people to not just survive, but to lead in the new world. Justice Yetunde Pinero of the Lagos State High Court has declared the removal of Mudashiru Obasa as Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly illegal and unconstitutional. The court nullified the proceedings and resolutions of the Assembly held on January 13, 2025, during which Obasa was ousted from office. The court's ruling effectively reinstates Obasa as Speaker and renders null all decisions taken during the contested election session. Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, says that militancy, kidnapping, and other social vices in the country will drastically reduce if the federal and sub-national governments create jobs for the citizenry. It also advises that the government create sustainable and not casual jobs, which pay would not sustain a worker for a month. Speaking at the official launch of the Labour Employment and Empowerment Program, LEAP, in Abuja, the NLC President Joe Ajaro says employment remains the best way to cope with social crisis in the country. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, has directed the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, to commence the process that will lead to the long-awaited disbursement of the Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund. The fund has suffered over 2 decades of administrative stagnation, and the directive ushers in a new era of strategic repositioning of Nigeria's indigenous shipping. The disbursement of the CVFF will represent not just the release of funds, but a commitment to empowering Nigerian maritime operators, bolstering national competitiveness, and fostering sustainable economic development. The People's Democratic Party Governors Forum has expressed solidarity with suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara amid his ongoing ordeal, including his suspension and the declaration of a state of emergency. The governors who met in Ibadan, Oyo State, urged the federal government to address the alarming insecurity across the country. Ramsey Enoch Agbo has details.
It is a convergence of state executives under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, and they have converged on Nigeria's southwest political capital, Ibadan, to deliberate on how best to reposition the nation's major opposition party ahead of future elections. The governors went into a closed-door meeting, after which they briefed the e-newsmen on the outcome of the resolutions reached during their meetings.
Speculation about the possible merger of political parties, groups, and/or associations, the forum resolved that the PDP will not join any coalition or merger. However, the PDP, as a major opposition party, welcomes any party, persons or groups that are willing to join it with a view to wresting power and enthroning good leadership in 2027.
In addition, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) governors addressed issues relating to the smooth running of its party, while it also lamented what it termed the worsening security situation in parts of the country, calling on the federal government to look into the matter and check the needless loss of innocent lives.
The forum finds alarming the worsening security situation in the country, as evidenced in parts of the country, especially Borno, Plateau, Katsina, and Edo states. The forum calls for the review and reordering of priorities and strategies, including adopting a bottom-up template that guarantees the subnationals to constitute an effective line of defense against security breaches.
Present at the meeting were host Governor Sheyi Makinde, Governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, Peter Mba of Enugu State, Agbu Kefat of Taraba State, Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State, amongst others, while governors of Delta and Akwa Ibom states were represented by their deputies. Ramsey Enoch Agbo reporting for Global TV News.
Plateau State Governor Caleb Mufwang has vowed that the killers and sponsors responsible for the attack in Basse communities and other parts of the state will not go unpunished. He says troops and security personnel had been deployed and reinforced in vulnerable communities. Mufwang says to restore calm and strengthen vigilance, the governor announced a restriction on night grazing and a ban on transportation of cattle by vehicle in the state after 7 p.m. effective 16th April. He also announced a restriction on the use of motorcycles from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. across the state until further notice. Imo State government says it is strengthening its healthcare sector by prioritizing the training and attitudinal reorientation of frontline health workers. In this special report, Global Television's Amarachi Ibe speaks with the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Success Prosper Ohayaga, on the state's ongoing reforms to improve primary healthcare delivery. Here is her report.
Out of renewed efforts to revamp healthcare services across Imo State, the Imo State government has launched a robust capacity building program for frontline health workers in primary healthcare centers. The head commissioner, Dr. Prosper Ohayaga, says the initiative is not only improving technical competence but also instilling professionalism and service discipline. According to him, the program adopts a train-the-trainers model, allowing selected health workers to receive intensive training and return to their various centers to replicate the knowledge, ensuring statewide impact, especially at the grassroots.
We have also embarked, because capacity building is one of the things that we really need to understand that will help the health sector. So we embarked on capacity building of frontline health workers. This capacity building is not just for those who will be there. There will also be cascade capacity building. Those who have attended capacity building will go back to their health centers and do that.
Beyond technical skills, the initiative also targets behavioral issues. Dr. Ohayaga revealed that in the past, some health workers were seen engaging in inappropriate conduct, such as selling groundnuts during official hours. He emphasized that the government is addressing these challenges through continuous training, effective monitoring, and a renewed sense of accountability within the sector.
Changed the attitudinal behavior towards health care. In the past, when you go to some primary health centers, you see health workers selling granules and everything. But today, health workers are health workers for what they are in Imo State.
Dr. Ohayaga reaffirms the government's commitment to building a responsive and disciplined health system capable of delivering accessible, efficient, and people-centered services across Imo communities. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, Global TV News.
In a decisive step to enhance emergency response capabilities and strengthen community safety, the Nigerian Air Force has unveiled the first batch of its newly upgraded fire tenders. The commissioning ceremony, which took place in Abuja, marks the official rollout of 8 fully modernized fire trucks as part of a broader initiative to upgrade 19 units across the service. Ogochukwu Mobino has details.
Speaking at the event, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar, described the feat as a demonstration of NFA's commitment to both national defense and humanitarian support. He says the fire tenders were upgraded through a comprehensive technical overhaul conducted by Messrs. Aphrodite Global Services Limited. Take 2. He says the fire tenders were upgraded through a comprehensive technical overhaul conducted by Messrs. Aphrodite Global Service Limited, an indigenous engineering firm. The upgrades incorporated higher capacity components and cutting-edge firefighting system designed to extend vehicle lifespan and significantly enhance operational efficiency. The Air Chief says the initiative includes the reactivation of the fire maintenance team across all Nigerian Air Force fire stations. This move is aimed at promoting a robust maintenance culture, enhancing technical capacity, and ensuring long-term functionality of critical emergency equipment. Air Marshal Abubakar further reaffirmed the NAF's enduring commitment to both military readiness and civil protection, tying the milestone to his overarching command philosophy. He also revealed that a key part of the ongoing safety reforms is a comprehensive overhaul of fire safety system and the development of a centralized monitoring framework. This, he said, is intended to improve compliance, enable early risk identification, and support evidence-based decision-making across the service. This development further illustrates the Nigerian Air Force's evolving strategy of combining operational effectiveness with community resilience and emergency preparedness.
The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on River State Oversight has invited the River State Sole Administrator Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, retired, to appear before it on April 17, 2025. Following the declaration of emergency rule in River State by President Bola Tinubu and the subsequent appointment of Admiral Ibas to oversee the running of the state for an initial period of 6 months, the National Assembly, citing Section 11 of the Constitution, resolved to take up the role of the suspended State Assembly. Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas inaugurated a 21-member committee chaired by the House Leader Professor Julius Ihombere to take up the responsibility and charge members against bias and partisanship. I beg your pardon. You're watching the live broadcast of the News Express on Global Television. When News Express returns, French row with Algeria escalates with tit-for-tat expulsion. Details coming shortly after the break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Express. In business, the influx of Chinese mobile phones into the Nigeria's mobile telephone market has continued to provide hundreds of jobs for youth across the country. In Kano, the Nigeria Center of Commerce, millions of people troop in on a daily basis to purchase mobile phones and accessories in the state's mobile phone market. Global Television's correspondent Idris Jibrin takes a look at this trend.
This is called Farm Center in Kano, the largest GSM market in northern Nigeria. From here, mobile phones from different parts of the world are brought. From repairs to selling of GSM accessories, hundreds of youth are engaged in various trading activity. Traders here say millions of jobs are being created.
At least even if there is not in Farm Center GSM market has contributed a lot to the entire Kano state, and it helps government at least for job creation. If you look at Farm Center, as I am talking now, we have at least more than 21,000 members in Palm Center GSM market, that they are selling phones and other phone alliance here in Palm Center. So at least even if there is nothing, we have contributed a lot to the government of Kano State.
Over the years, the inadequate capital, the lack of government intervention, and more disturbing, the problem of foreign exchange is gradually threatening this trade in Kano. According to the traders union in the market, apart from job creation, Farm Center GSM market is contributing significantly to revenue generation and has remained consistent in improving the youth living standard.
It gives us something doing and hope that there are opportunities and there is hope. Like without even having a degree or like maybe Western education, you can come here at least make an earning for yourself.
Like tips, they used to stole or steal tips, funds from other people and bring it here to the market, sell it. One of the sellers like us here. That is why our Oga said that we should not buy any laptop or phones without a receipt.
Capitals. The challenges is all about capital. Most of the youth here in Palm Center, they are liking what? They are liking capital. We don't have capital here in Palm Center, and we want to call the attention of government at least to help us, to help our youth, at least to empower them with maybe some money or some gadgets or something that will going to boost their businesses here in Palm Center GSM.
Over 10,000 youth are currently trading in this market, but they require expansion and government intervention across all value chain of the trade. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
The European Union has expressed keen interest in expanding trade and investment in member countries to Nigeria's solid mineral sector. European Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS Gater Maynot disclosed this during a courtesy visit to the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake. Sharon Ajay has details.
European Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Gater Maynot, commended ongoing efforts to reposition Nigeria's mining sector, noting that the EU delegation seeks to better understand the industry and explore areas of mutual interest and collaboration.
A mapping exercise. So, and as you know, the European Union delegation works very closely with the member states' embassies. A little bit of coordinating role and exchanging information, and so yes, very eager to learn more about this sector in Nigeria and how we can try to find common opportunities and partner.
Responding, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, emphasized Nigerians' readiness to engage with EU member states and investors to unlock the vast potential of our solid minerals for shared prosperity. Highlighting Nigerians' wealth of critical minerals, the minister pointed to the abundance of high-grade lithium, an essential component in solar panels, electric vehicles, and battery production. He further described Nigeria as a hub for mineral critical to the global shift towards green energy.
Solid minerals are needed within and without, and we are ready to sell and do business within and without. So, to really make this possible is why we are putting in policy measures that will create an enabling environment locally for investors to operate. For instance, if an investor is interested in our solid minerals, once it is licensed and is starting operation, we have tax incentives on machinery or equipment that will be used for the exploration, exploitation, extraction, processing, and all of that. We have tax incentives. just to encourage the foreign investors to have more.
Hinting at the federal government's new approach towards sustainability and traceability of minerals extracted from the country, the minister revealed that mechanisms are being put in place to track minerals mined from the country, whether raw, semi-processed, or finished minerals. He emphasized that Nigeria is committed to ensuring that minerals exported from the country are traceable, stressing that government is tied those responsible for cutting away illegally mined minerals.
Locally, the security of the operating environment has been enhanced through the creation of the mine marshals, and they've been doing a yeoman's job. In fact, their activities have really encouraged a lot of investors who keep coming here to tell us that, oh yeah, these people are working, their environment are now safer, and the incidence of illegal mining is subsiding because the mine marshals, they are specifically targeted at curbing illegal mining, which has always been a serious issue, not just in Nigeria, all over Africa where there is solid minerals.
The European ambassador to Nigeria, however, assured the minister that the EU will consult with member states to encourage European companies to explore partnership opportunities in Nigeria's solid mineral space, noting that the EU shared commitment to sustainable and mutually beneficial trade relationships. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
On the foreign scene, France has recalled its ambassador to Algeria and other 12 Algerian diplomats to leave Paris as a diplomatic row escalated. Algeria earlier this week expelled 12 French officials after one of its consular staff was arrested over the kidnapping of a government critic living in Paris. President Emmanuel Macron's office called the move unjustified and incomprehensible. However, relations have been on the slide for months. Observers have described the crisis as unprecedented since Algeria secured independence from France in 1962. In sports, despite reaching the 2025 Basketball Africa League playoffs, with a game to spare, Rivers Hoopers coach Ogo Odaudu says the Nigerian champions still has some work to do to reach their targets at the tournament in South Africa in June. Rivers Hoopers closed out their Kalahari Conference campaign on Sunday with an emphatic 79-59 win over Stade Malien, ending the series 4-2. But the coach insists isn't satisfied, having set a target that is higher than their third-place finish from last season. As Global TV News Express comes to an end, let's take a recap of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu has officially launched the Labour Employment and Empowerment Program LEAP, a new national initiative aimed at creating at least 2.5 million sustainable jobs within 2 years. In business, the European Union has expressed keen interest in expanding trade and investment of member countries to Nigeria's solid minerals sector. On the foreign scene, France has recalled its ambassador to Algeria and other 12 Algerian diplomats to leave Paris as a diplomatic row escalated. And in sports, we told you despite reaching the 2025 Basketball Africa League playoffs, with a game to spare, Rivers Hoopers coach Ogo Odaudu says the Nigerian champions still has some work to do to reach their target at the tournament in South Africa. And that's it on Global TV News Express. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on NIGECOMSAT. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.